Hello and welcome back to another Monday night here at Heroes and Hooligans, where we are having shenanigans go on a regular basis with our Delirium Grim Hollow campaign. We're kind of going through a little bit of a lull in the game. We're spending some time in the same place. We got some interesting things going on while they're here in Lysec. Scrimmy, why don't you tell us what happened last week?
Sounds good. So last week, Scrimmy woke up in a haze, hungover, and headed down to the main quarters of the Pig Tit Inn, where Daruk entered and came and brought us all drinks. Loki very brutally called Daruk out for fibbing a little bit about why we were in Lysec. Everything got smoothed over because it ended up becoming an official job. Shortly after, we hear a loud commotion in the street. There was, some potion master there not too long before, maybe a day or so before, and unfortunately, something went wrong. Sounds like everybody outside is running around like chickens with their head cut off. People are kind of disfigured in the street. We did what we could to try and help them and calm them down. A few buildings were crushed in the making. We cast some spells, chilled some people out, and went and found the potion maker, the little potion man, as Scrim likes to call him. And they found out that somebody was tampering with his potions he made. We ended up helping find who we suspected, getting some really cool potions out of it. For some reason, this guy also had a bunch of hats, so naturally Scrimmy went through them, picked a couple out, one for himself and one for, I believe it was Arthur, a cute little jester hat.
Mm-hmm.
We went into the sewers and fought some monsters in the underground shit cave. I guess this is what Scrimmy's remembering. And then in this cave, we fought this guy, and Scrimmy got smashed by Daruk's extra large body. But we also still got some cool shit out of it at the end. We got to buy some potions and got some money. And we got to take a nice, good, long nap.
Yeah.
And now here we are.
Yeah, that's pretty much on point. I will correct you if you want to correct your notes. The hats were not until you were in the place in the sewers, the little...
Yes, the little house.
The sewer shit cave?
Yeah, the sewer shit cave. Yeah.
Yeah, I apparently remembered it in backward sections. That's how Scrimmy just flows.
I mean, it's fair. I mean, it's Scrimmy. It's totally to be expected.
Absolutely.
Drew says smashed by Daruk's extra large body belongs on a t-shirt.
Yes, it does.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty
no comment.
I went immediately to the gutter with it. Whenever you said smashed by Daruk's extra large body, I'm like, oh, I missed that episode. But hey, yeah, that's pretty much what happened. So you got you helped a guy, right? His business, his livelihood was tampered with by somebody he trusted. People in your party have been recently betrayed by somebody they trusted, whether it was in a big way or a small way. And so it probably resonated with you a little bit, and that's maybe why you helped him out so much. Plus, he offered to pay you to do so. And you were able to get some things out of it, like a hat for Scrimmy, another hat for Scrimmy, because Scrimmy had just gotten a hat for Arthur, and some potions. And Fiora had made a deal with the guy to possibly maybe become a member of the Wardens, like acquire an asset for the Wardens. Maybe he could go and work for them, and that would give you even cheaper and more access to potions that you didn't necessarily have through the Wardens anyway, since you get a discount from your quartermaster there. So some really good stuff going on there. So you're still in Lysec. You went back to your tavern to get a short rest because in our setting it is 8 hours for a short rest. So you're able to recover short rest things, use hit dice, anything that you need to do there, if so. Celine and Arthur were left at the tavern when you guys left. They were left babysitting Tater Von Spud, who had experienced some of the adverse effects of the potions that were tampered with. So Presto had made some potions for you to clear up the things that had gone wrong, so he brought those by. The next morning, Fiora, you're meant to get a delivery of some things as well. So you're able to get that in the morning. Some of you don't need to sleep. That's totally okay. Whatever trance-like things that you do during that time is what you do. Celine, after you get cured, what do you think it is that Celine does, since babysitting's not really her whole jam? Do you think she goes out and sort of investigates in the city a little bit, goes to blow off some steam being left behind when you could have punched things? Or do you think you maybe might go recover your axe because you might need it in the future?
No, I'm probably looking to blow off some steam. I've got a bunch of anger built up.
Yeah, you're looking to blow off some steam. Where do you think Celine goes in the middle of the night while the rest of the party is sleeping to blow off some steam?
Well, the last time she was in town, she was looking for a very particular place that she couldn't get into or really locate. So she's just going to, head around and see if she has any whispers or rumors and talk to people, see if she can find this location.
Okay. So where do you think she would head to maybe be able to find some of those rumors? Do you think she goes up to the poor district? Do you think she goes down to hand-me-down town, to the docks, maybe even over to the more ritzy side where, just because you're fancy doesn't mean you don't like to participate in lucrative activities? Where do you think she heads?
Of all of those, probably the docks seems like the best place because it's most likely still got people working there late at night, ships coming in, so on and so forth.
The docks on the old market side or the docks on hand-me-down town side?
Is there a difference?
Yes.
Hang on, I need to pull up the VTT.
So the old markets is the old market district. It still has some shops and things there, but it's where the markets used to be before they went to Lysac Central Market and over towards the luxury district. So it's more of I don't want to say industrial because it's not factories, but it's like a more mercantile area where hand-me-down town is essentially Shandytown. Or if you're thinking in terms of Kirkwall, where the elves live, how it's sort of like slums. I can't remember the name of it, but the sort of slummy areas. It is the slummiest of areas where things are built out of bits and pieces of detritus and debris and so on. They're ramshackle buildings rather than actually built shops. And there are docks down there. There's a warehouse over there, which is where a majority of the people in hand-me-down town find employment, but it doesn't pay very well, so they don't have a whole ton of stuff. So there are the two different places.
I'd say probably the old market instead of hand-me-down town, since it seems like more of a location she'd have visited last time she was in town.
Yeah, the old market you have even been to recently. You were there looking for Fiora the other day, and that's where Scrimmy got his fancy pointed hat it wasn't pointed, it was a hat of hats that actually had some magical properties and images of little vermin-like creatures, rats and frogs and bats, I think. So you think she goes down on the docks? She goes down like towards the docks where like the nighttime dock workers are.
Yeah.
And Celine's not a very social individual. So how does she go about trying to gather the information she's looking for? Do you think she's just eavesdropping, or she strikes up a conversation with some workers who look less than savory, or how do you think she goes about it? Well, how do you know? Like, she's your character, you know.
I think at first she just maybe wander around, gather a look at the place, who's around, who's not, and then if she finds a particularly, I don't want to say like roughed up and bad looking group, but someone who would go with the crowd she normally walks with, she'd sort of just walk up to the group, see what they're talking about.
So you would go down onto the docks and try to find some workers. I wouldn't say you find any necessarily that would go with. Did you say go with your group, or go with like a group of folks who would be doing the thing that you're particularly interested in?
The latter.
Okay.
No one really does what I do.
Right. So you're coming in to a place that had been ravaged by chaos earlier in the day, right? So I'm going to go ahead and take your party mates tokens off here, since you don't really need them. And they're ginormous right now. So you find a couple people down here at the docks. It's late, it's middle of the night. Not a whole lot of people here, just a couple. The shop owners have mostly all gone or are sleeping in their hammocks underneath of their canopies that they have, their little setups there. But there is a group of gentlemen, sort of looks like they are preparing crates and things to be loaded. They are people that you would have seen earlier in the day working with Tater Von Spud before he went over to try out the strongman potion.
Walking near them, do I hear them talking to each other?
Yeah, mostly like broy shop talk.
Anything in particular that stands out to me about what they're saying?
I don't know. What do your dice tell you?
Oh, fucking hell. Perception. It's not my best option, is it? It's really not. It's just a +1. I rolled a 10.
All right, so an 11 on perception. Yeah, so nothing really interesting stands out there that you know of.
Beyond the chaos, do they look more roughed up than the average person? Like they'd recently been in a fight of some sort.
I will let you use investigation if you would like to try to see fine details that your perception didn't grant. I don't know what your difference in bonuses are, but
Well, it's a -1, so let's hope it's better than a 10. It's a 13 in total.
all right. One of them has not bloody knuckles, but their knuckles are a little bit bruised, and you can see the yellowing of a black eye, like the end of a black eye where the bruise is sort of yellowed out. And it's kind of hard to pick out in the light, or in the dark anyways, which is why you probably didn't notice it right away. The docks aren't really that lit. There's like essentially torchlight, but it's one of those lanterns, a gaslit lantern hanging over by them. So when they're moving in and out of the dim and the bright. It's a little hard to see, but now that you're more focused on and investigating their appearances, one of them has like I said, a yellowing, bruised eye and some bruises on their knuckles. No open cuts, no blood or anything, but
Signs of a recent-ish fight. Okay.
yeah, a recent brawl of some sort.
And you said they were stacking boxes?
Yep, they're down over here. Let me click on the map. There, these guys down here.
All right, okay. I'm gonna casually just walk over to them and see if they say anything first, because Slee never initiates the conversation.
Okay. So you just kind of stand there ominously hulking over them, because Celine's fairly tall, right?
I think I put her at like just shy of 6 foot.
Yeah, so for a woman, she's fairly tall and fairly muscular, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you just stand there menacingly as they work and stare at them with that very Celine look, right?
Yeah, just empty eyes, hands on hips, just waiting for one of them to say something.
All right. So a couple of minutes goes by and they continue working, paying attention to each other rather than what's behind them, because their work's in front of them. And one turns around to like wipe his brow and sit on a crate and sees you and jumps. Jesus Christ, lady, what are you doing? Or cheese and rice, since there's no Jesus Christ in this land. Whatever, you know what I mean.
I don't know who Jesus is, but I have some questions.
Well, if you have some questions, go ask somebody else. We're working here.
See, I would, but my questions pertain to a certain group that doesn't advertise. And you look like you've been, shall I say, introduced to them.
What are you trying to say? That I'm not an upstanding citizen of Lysec? That I'd be running around with nefarious criminal individuals?
Yes.
Well, that's bullshit, lady. Get out of here.
I'm going to take a step towards him and cross my arms together over my chest. You really want to rethink your answer?
I really don't. You want to end up with a black eye like my wife? Get out of here.
Try it.
Of course, Celine goes off to pick a fight. So the other one is a little more level-headed and kind of like pats him on the shoulder, like, "Hey, Tom, chill out." And what are you looking for, lady? We really are trying to work here.
So either your friend there likes to get in fights and loses by the looks of it, or he's part of something that I tried to join the last time I was in town. I'd like a name and location.
I don't know what you're talking about. This came from a fight at the tavern that we were involved in a couple weeks ago.
I'm probably going to regret this, but can I make an insight check?
You can make an insight check.
That is a 3. I am not good at insight.
Yeah, so it sounds like he's telling you the truth. Son of a bitch. My dice went flying at me here.
I know, mine's just almost flung off the table. I hate when
Mine
they do
did fly. Under my desk.
Right, okay. So I one of them that's sitting down and bruised is called Tom. I don't know the other one's name, who I'm currently talking to.
Mm-hmm.
During this conversation, do I notice anything on Tom's face about what I'm saying?
No.
I didn't think so.
No, he's got like that very I'm a prick sort of face going on.
Ah, not the best person to put me beside. Right, okay. Okay. Well, if you happen to know, I'd be willing to pay for the information, or at least know someone who might be inclined to give it to me.
The more level-headed of the two raises an eyebrow at you.
I need to let off some steam, and I'd rather not beat up some dock workers right now, as much as I would enjoy it.
How much gold you got, lady?
How much is the
Now, mind
information
you,
worth?
these are dock workers. I want you to think about this. These are dock workers who make coppers and silvers. And he's straight up, how much gold you got?
I'll give you, for now, 5 gold.
For now. What does for now mean?
Well, I'll give you 5 gold and you'll tell me, and if I'm happy with the information and I get there and everything's fine, I'll come back and maybe I'll give you some of my winnings.
All right. Gold first, information second.
I'll reach into my, I guess, pocket, coin purse, whatever the hell Selena has, and just toss them 5 gold coins.
Do you give them to the guy who's been compliant, or you just toss them in general?
I give them the guy I don't know the name of yet. Tom can go fuck himself.
Okay. Do you want to ask him his name? You can do that too. I mean, Celine can have manners occasionally.
And not right now. She knows his face. That's enough.
All right. Basement of the Blacksmiths. Friday, Saturday, Sunday night, Fight Club. You know what the number one rule about Fight Club is? You don't talk about Fight Club. You didn't hear it from me.
Okay. I already knew all that. I need passwords of some sort to get in.
Well, they change every week.
Do you know this week's?
What's today? Tuesday? Well, Monday night going into Tuesday morning. Right?
Pretty
Or
much.
is it Tuesday going into Wednesday? I can't remember. How many nights have you spent here? This is the second night you've been in Lysec, right?
I believe so.
I think it's still the first.
No,
'Cause we
because you
got
spent the
you-
one night away from Duke, right? The first
Where?
night you spent away from. You spent the first night at Pig's Tit away from without Daruk, right?
No, he showed up later that night. All of this has been that night.
Okay. Okay. I couldn't
So
I
it's
remember.
still
don't, I don't
Monday.
think we ever slept. Like, unless this is the morning after.
It's kind of like late night, early morning, sort of, you know, after midnight, before sunrise, sort of thing.
Yeah.
So
I
like
don't-
2 in the
it's
morning.
All right, so it's Monday. Well, we don't learn. People who are members of the club don't find out until Wednesdays.
That's a weird week system, but I can come back on Wednesday, I suppose.
Yeah, that'll be fine. Just come down and find me. I work every night.
In the meantime, any ungrateful pricks that you feel need beating up. You know, besides dick shit here.
I don't think I know anybody that needs beating up, but one of the locals is looking for the person who killed their husband.
And this local has a name.
Yeah, her name is Martha.
And she lives
Just at the edge of the poor district, going out of town, towards where Daruk's is, right? Towards that area. Just on the edge there, towards the scout camp. Her husband caught a stray axe to the head the other day, and she's been trying to figure out who threw it.
Ah.
I hear she's paying a pretty good penny for it.
Good to know.
Anyway, I got to get back to work.
You got a name?
Yeah, name's Tim. What's your name, lady? And he'll hold out a dirty, grubby hand.
Call me Evelyn. And I won't shake his hand and walk away.
Yeah, so you got Tim and Tom down there at the docks.
Yeah. I gathered that the second you said his name.
All right. Where does Celine go from here?
Well, with the fact that she has to come back in a couple of days, I don't know. There's no place really around here besides the club that she's trying to get in to punch people, so... there's like a wooded area, right? Just outside the city?
Yeah, let me pull out where you threw your axe. Yes, absolutely there is.
Sure, I'm just gonna go over there and see if I can find something to punch. I will fight a bear if I have to.
We'll fight a bear. Yeah, there's where the Outlanders outpost is, and there's some farms and a lighthouse over on that side. Or there's the area by the refugee camp and outside back towards the Rock Teeth Mountains. Lysek is almost completely, it's surrounded by forest.
Yeah, I'd probably just head out like the nearest gate and just wander the woods for a couple hours looking for something to beat up. Maybe not kill, but like just have a fight with.
Yeah, that's back towards Daruk's. The gates out of the city are the Pig's Tit where you're staying, and you can go right out there, out into the woods, and probably wrestle a bear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I need to roll for this wrestling a bear check.
I don't know. We'll find out here in a minute. So as you leave the docks and you head back through the old markets and you get over towards the buildings that are nearer to the gate, you start to see flyers hanging on the walls of buildings and on the walls of the town and just kind of all around. Do you want to look at the flyers, or are you just going to go right past them?
I mean, if there's one in my path that I can just reach out and grab, sure, but I don't think she'd divert her path just to read a flyer.
Yeah, so you could probably actually grab one because they're kind of all over the place. And there's a picture of an axe on the flyer, and it's very much in detail drawn to look like Celine's axe. And it says, "Wanted, owner of this axe, see Martha for reward." And it says 1,000 gold piece reward.
Knowing the fact that when I threw this axe, I apparently killed someone, which doesn't bother her. I'm heading in that direction apparently anyways, according to what I think I remember from the Dark Workers.
Yeah.
So fuck it, yeah, I'll go by myself into the middle of the woods.
Yeah, out towards the outpost near Daruk's house. You know, you were in that area where you threw it. You can go right out there. It's no problem.
So yeah, sure. I'll head out to go see Martha.
You want to go straight to Martha's house, not out into the woods? She lives in Poor Man's. You're going out into the woods. Which way you want to go?
Well, I'm intrigued now because obviously I've heard about this and now I've seen flies everywhere. So yeah, sure, my interest is piqued. Plus, I kind of want my axe back.
Well, maybe your axe is still in the tree. You don't know.
Well, I'm gonna go see Martha anyways.
Go for it.
It would be nice if the VTT would load.
You head into Poor Man's to find Martha's. It's late at night.
Nice.
It's probably like 3 o'clock in the morning. So most people are asleep. Aside from, you come across a beggar who's kind of rested up against a building, dressed in a sort of burlap-y style outfit, rags kind of hanging from him. And he's got a nice little dog sitting next to him. And the dog looks very well taken care of. And he's kind of leaned up against the building, one eye open, one eye shut.
I will pet the dog.
The dog will lick your hand.
Yes.
Good boy.
So jealous.
Every dog gets pats. I'm not going to kill the dog. I'm not that much of a bitch.
Yeah, and the dog has a little tag hanging from his collar. He's got a nice little collar. It's like a leather collar with little brass studs and stitching around it. It's very, very well done. Has a little gold tag hanging from it.
Can I see a name written on it?
You can. You can.
Cool. What's
The
his
name
dog's name then?
Sirius.
Like the word serious, or it's Sirius? Like Sirius Black. Okay, Sirius.
Sirius.
Okay. I thought his name was literally just serious. Like he's so serious all the time.
That would be for the lows, wouldn't it?
I mean, it would also be something I just expected you as a DM to do.
So you're just petting the dog, and the guy's got one eye closed, one eye shut, and then you think maybe he's going to talk, but instead of go to man's is sleeping with an eye open. Someone's got to watch his own back.
See, normally Slim, me as a person would be like, that's creepy. But Slade's probably seen this like 100 times, so just for the dog alone, she's going to leave a gold coin like under his foot and walk off.
That's very nice of Celine. Wow, Celine is a nice person in there somewhere when it comes to doggos.
Yes, doggos, like animals is her like kryptonite, if you haven't noticed.
So you get into farther into Poor Man's, and you see all of these posters all the way around. They're hung up everywhere, and they're just made out of parchment. It looks like somebody spent the time to draw and make copies of all of these posters. The problem is you don't know Martha or where Martha lives, and there's no address on there.
Is there any, I know it's like really early, but is there anyone around?
No, not really. Just the sleeping guy and his doggo.
Well, I'm not going to wake up a sleeping homeless guy right now. Even though he's potentially not homeless, he's probably just drunk off his ass. I didn't really care. I mean, I don't need to sleep much, so I'm probably just going to wander around until someone wakes up, and then I can ask them.
Okay. So you wander around for a few hours. The earliest riser in your party is not Fiora, if I'm not mistaken. No, Fiora's waking up and doing calisthenics. No, that's Brill. Yeah, so no, not Fiora. So who do you think is the earliest riser?
I mean, out of everyone, it would probably be Daruk. Or Loki.
Aside from
the human man sleeps regularly. He's not awake through the night because he doesn't need to sleep or anything like that. He usually is up a little bit late writing from the day before taking to bed.
Okay. So Loki probably gets up at what? What do you think is a reasonable time for Smarty Pants McGee to wake up in the morning? 6:30, 7 o'clock, or more like 8:30, 9 o'clock?
Like 8:39, yeah. Like unless we're doing something, otherwise, like 9.
Yeah, he's still a young scholar, so he's not really in that dinner by 5, news at 6, in bed by 7 sort of thing. So not quite getting 30. but
My knees still work. My back doesn't creak.
yeah. What about Scrimmy? What does Scrimmy's sleep schedule look like?
Scrimmy intermittently wakes up throughout the night, so he kind of just gets like 2 hours here, 2 hours there. He drinks a little and partakes in a little bit of the long bottom leaf in between those. So he may have popped in and out for a short period of time during this, but it's definitely probably going to go back to sleep instantly after.
What time do you think Scrim gets up for the day?
For the whole day, like to stay awake, he's an old man, kinda. He died around like 40 or 50, so like I feel like he doesn't get too much sleep. Maybe 6 hours total intermittently. So I'd say maybe 6 a.m., 7 a.m., something earlier than normal.
And Fiora probably wakes up right around the same time Loki's getting up, 8:39, or is Fiora later than that?
I think Fiora, if unawakened, is like 9:30, 10 probably.
Okay.
I just don't sleep.
That's why Arthur and Celine are officially like share rooms, because everybody else is creeped out that you sit awake and stare at them while they're sleeping.
We just sit up and play bingo all night. Or Scrabble. Because we have nothing else to do.
I was thinking you guys played checkers, but I'll go with bingo or Scrabble.
I play chess, he plays checkers.
You leave Arthur alone, damn it. He's not even here to defend us.
He's here.
Okay,
Somewhere.
the thing is, though, Arthur would win, despite only having the checker pieces.
Exactly. Celine doesn't know how to play chess.
All right, so Celine, you just spent some time in the evening walking around Poor Man's District, you know, probably punching a wall here or there. Maybe Celine makes it her mission to pull down as many of the flyers as possible. What do you do during that time while you're waiting?
Honestly, I don't really know what Celine does majority of the time. She's obviously very antisocial, so she just kind of just walks around taking the city that she hasn't been in for, well, years at this point.
Has it been years or has it been weeks?
Well, I don't know. I don't know when the last time either. I want to say years, but when was the last time Fiora was in the city? Because that would probably be the last time she was as well.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering. You guys met, I believe, like in Cheernault or something.
Yeah, I was gonna say this is the first time Fiora's been back to Lysix since leaving.
How long ago was it that she left anyway?
How old did I put her age on her character sheet?
Yeah, let's see.
I have no idea. That's why I'm
Let's
asking you.
see. Description: she is 20. That was probably 6 to 7 years ago.
Okay, so it's been quite some time since you guys have been in Lysec. Yeah. Okay. All right.
Catching up with old haunts and stuff, safe old shit's still there.
Okay.
Which it most likely isn't.
So all of you know that you have a meeting tomorrow. You're meant to go to the place and get some more information. Loki had relayed that to you from Fred. So Celine is out and about doing Celine things, which is not unusual because it wouldn't be the first time everybody woke up and Celine wasn't there. Scrimmy, you wake up in the morning, you're the first one up. What do you do when you get up? Do you go down and get something to eat and drink, or do you hang out in your room? How does it go?
Oh, Scrimmy is just like that one country music singer song who I'm not going to quote, but instead of he's the 8 to 4:30 kind of guy, right? Stumble out of bed and I run to the kitchen to pour himself a cup of ambition. He goes directly downstairs and he mixes bourbon and coffee together.
Yeah.
That
sounds great. So you go down and you get an Irish coffee for breakfast.
Absolutely.
Except for rum, not whiskey. Oh no, you said bourbon, didn't you?
Bourbon, yeah.
Close enough.
Some sort of alcohol.
You get some booze and some coffee in the morning. You go down, you sit at the table. Do you sit on the side of the tavern that's where you were the night before, or do you sit close to the fireplace?
Oh, to the fire for sure. Scrimmy's kind of he's rambunctious at night, but he is truly a grumpy, old, sleep-deprived man.
In the mornings, yeah, that's fair.
Yes, he wants the cozy, he wants the comfy, he wants the quiet.
All right. So you wake up and you get up and you go down and you get your coffee and you sit by the fire and you read the local tabloids that talks about this night and what he was doing that he shouldn't have been, and this noble doing this that they shouldn't have been, and this big scandal in this place, and Augustine Trading Company bank news, all of that kind of interesting stuff. Who's running for the next leader of whatever place, politics and tabloids. And so, yeah, you're relaxing and you're by yourself. It's right around probably 6:15 in the morning by the time you get down there. Celine, that time goes by and people start to get up in the mornings to head out to work, probably roughly around the 6 time, between 5:30 and 6. And you get, a couple of folks stumbling out of their houses to go to work. It's early morning. Nobody wants to be up. What you doing?
I think most likely she just woke up, kind of just put a hand on their shoulder to the nearest person and just be like, "Do you know where Martha lives?" And like a very deadpan voice.
I think it's probably a younger gentleman who you come across. Younger in the way of early 20s, younger, not like child, younger. And he's a little startled by you, and he's very small framed, super skinny, wears like a long cloak and some sort of dirty clothes underneath of it. Martha, that house over there, and he points to a house on the corner. And then he scrambles away from you because you scare him.
A giant smirk crosses her face as she walks towards his house.
Wonderful. All the lights are off. No candles are lit. You don't hear any noise coming from the inside, anything like that, when you get to the house that was pointed out to you.
I'm going to try and push the door and see if it's locked.
You push the door and it doesn't budge.
Then I will just casually, patiently just sit right beside the door on the outside and wait until I see a movement.
All right. Yeah, so you sit there for a little while and you don't hear anything from inside. And by a little while, I mean an hour passes and you still haven't heard anything. What do you do after an hour? About 7 o'clock now.
Knowing Celine, she'd fucking kick the door in.
You're just gonna kick this old lady's door in?
Well, more like she'd walk up to the door, push it open, and if obviously since it's locked, she'll just kind of just try and pull it off its hinges, or just break the lock with pure brute strength.
Yeah, so go ahead and give me, I'll say athletics to see if you can like break the door handle off.
Luckily, I'm somewhat proficient with that because I'm a fucking barbarian. Yeah, that's a 14.
14.
Yeah, that's a 7. That's a 7. Yeah, not a 1. I'm reading that correctly.
Yeah, so you're able to break off the door handle, and it's one of those old style door handles that's got kind of the latch that you push down and it raises the latch on the inside to open the door. And you're able to like break it off thinking that you snap the mechanism. And then you go to push the door and the door still won't move.
I really wish I had my axe right now.
But you don't hear any noises coming from inside from the ruckus that you're making either.
Well, if I don't hear any noises coming from inside, then she's definitely just going to full on take a step back and just shove her foot through the fucking door. knock
All
this thing
right.
off its hinges if she can.
Which part of the door do you kick it? Like up above the door handle, about square with the door handle, or on the bottom?
Square with it. Like, I've already fucked the handle, so I'm kicking basically a flattish surface at this point.
All right, go ahead and give me another athletics.
At 24.
All right. So you kick the door right near the door handle, and your foot goes directly through the wood of the door, but it's stopped about a half of an inch through the door by a large piece of wood.
The fuck does this old woman keep in this house?
Think of it's like one of those wooden barricades that you slide down to keep doors shut.
But even in like the poorer part of town, that seems a bit overkill.
Her husband was murdered. What do you expect?
And I am currently breaking into her house, so I'm gonna. Is my foot stuck in the door, or can I pull it out?
You could pull it out. You just didn't break the door down. You put your foot through the door, but it didn't still open all the way.
Then I'm gonna reach in and see if I can just shove the bar up.
Sure. Sleight of hand.
Oh fuck! I'm not gonna be good with this. I really am not. Once D&D on decides it was to load my sheet. Sleight of hand. A 9.
9 doesn't do it. You can't jimmy it open. You have a friend who might be good at this kind of stuff.
Well, yeah, but I kind of just broke this woman's door. If I leave now, she's probably going to call the guards or something.
Well, you haven't heard anything coming from the inside, and you're making quite a lot of noise.
That is true.
You have some not criminal friends that possess a set of skills that might be able to help you get doors open.
Okay. With like the massive hole in the door, I'm just going to head back to the inn and see if I can get some help then. I want my axe back.
So you see Scrimmy awake. Nobody else from the party has come down yet when you come back to the tavern.
And to my knowledge, the only person that would be able to help me right now would be Loki, correct?
Loki's not a criminal, so...
Well, yeah, I know, but he has tools to open doors and chests.
Hey, I specifically said you have non-criminal friends that can help you.
Okay, I'm gonna head up to our... Is it 2 rooms, a room? I'm assuming 2.
It's a couple, yeah. There's, 6 of you in total, so 3. 2, 2, and 2.
Yeah, and not being quiet at all. I'm just gonna push the door open and see who's in which room.
Well, one of them is supposed to be yours, you and Arthur, so Arthur's in one of them.
Well, yeah,
Another
I
one.
never went to that.
I assume Daruk and Fiora are not sharing a room. Probably.
If I'm being honest, I feel like Fiora made a point to get her own room, as she is the only woman that sleeps.
Well, and then Daruk has been staying at his own house anyway, so I feel like Fiora would have her own room regardless.
Daruk, he did come back to the inn. I think he said he was going to stay at the inn with you.
Yeah, I think he did.
Yeah. So again, whichever one of the closest rooms is, I'm just going to open the door. Not like slam it against the wall, just open it.
You find you open the next door and you find Fiora sleeping.
Lazy bitch. And then I'm going to close the door.
You go to the next door.
I would like to point out that Fiora is like fully splayed, like weird angles. Like, do you know, like if you're laying like on your stomach or side, but you lift one knee up like 90 degrees and one arm is up here and the other is like down here, and she's just, that's how Fiora sleeps.
Yeah, that's fair. Fiora has her own bed and she's gonna hog it all because she can. So Fiora's all sprawled out on the bed. You go to the next room, you open it, and it is one bed empty, one bed open. The empty bed was Scrimmy's, the open one is, or the empty bed is Scrimmy's, the occupied one is Daruk. And then there'll be one more room for Loki there. Guess Loki's off by himself too.
Yeah. Can I just, assuming he's in this room, I'm just gonna quietly open the door and, as much as Celine can, sneak over to his bed and just lean above him, just poke him in the chest. Like, I know he's observant, but is he that observant in his sleep as well?
I was just literally in my head thinking about like what D&D mechanics for high passive perception is if you're sleeping.
I think you have disadvantage, which means you have a -5.
So a 19 passive.
I mean, I can roll a stealth check if you want.
By all
I
means,
probably
let's
won't
do it. We're here. Let's do it.
Yeah, that's an 18. I'm not beating that. Not that it's going to stop me from just walking over to you and just poking you aggressively in the chest.
You don't get like a shock surprise or anything. You kind of just get not an irritated exhale, but just kind of a you're very heavy-footed. And Loki will lean up a little bit. He's got just a loose-fitting shirt on right now. His uniform is folded up on the stand at the moment with his equipment. Is there a particular reason you're poking me in the chest at the whatever hour it is?
Would I know what time it is in the morning?
Yeah, it's like 7 o'clock. Well, 7:30. It's been probably about 7:30.
Yeah. I need your help getting through a door.
Did you try opening it?
I put my foot through it. It's still locked.
Sure. He'll excuse me, and he'll throw his blanket up and swing out of bed, start putting on all of his gear.
Screamy actually was intrigued with what's going on and has wandered upstairs with coffee for everybody, but there's bourbon in it, and he doesn't tell them. So he comes up with a pitcher of bourbon-filled coffee and a couple mugs empty.
Little hair of the dog.
I could clearly hear. I can hear Celine like loudly speaking to Loki while he's like in these sleepy hush tones.
Yeah,
I don't.
And it's not. It's well. Right. Like it's in the poorer side of town. It's not super huge. The construction isn't that great internally as opposed to externally. The floors creak, the stairs creak, the doors moan when you open them. Like they're not oiled hinges, you know. It's a place where you can hear tossing and turning in every room next to you.
Unless you're Fiora, who's dead to the world.
Yeah, and so I walk in with the coffee. Do you guys want some?
Is there any without alcohol in it?
I did not tell you there was alcohol in it.
I have a nose, Grimmy.
Perception. I think you'd be
I have a nose, Grimmy, and it's also 7 a.m.
With him saying that and now me knowing it's got alcohol in it, I will just grab a mug and fill it and then down it.
I literally cheers you. I'm like, I'm starting to like you there, crazy lady.
Sorry, what?
Yeah, remember, Scrimmy is also nuts and forgets every single time that he calls you crazy that it offends you.
If I didn't need to get through this door so much, I would hit you with a chair.
Hit me!
All right, if we could
some liquor.
We thank you for the offer, Scrimmy, but I'm all right. It seems to be fueling Celine just while, and this is while he's changing. He's taken off his sleeping shirt. He's throwing on the cotton shirt he has to go underneath his studded leather. He's clicking everything on, throwing on his cloak and then his warden's vest and whatnot, getting all of the strings tied up. I can't say how conducive it would be for me to be under the influence at all, since I'm a bit of a lightweight myself. The last time I drank, admittedly, insert drinking age here has only been so far away from me.
Scrimmy looks at you and just says some gibberish word, Moishfika, and then tells you it means more for me.
By all means. Celine, if you could show me your foot door or whatever thing you've made for me to come help you through.
A foot door? Is it made of foots? I've got to
No,
see.
I put my foot through it.
Did you? So you couldn't open it through the hole you made with the foot?
I broke the lock. I put my foot through it. There's a bar on the other side that I can't jimmy.
Gotcha. All right. Let's tell me about why you were trying to break into this as we get going. Scrimmy, are you coming
I
along?
want my axe back.
Oh yeah, I'm
They have your axe.
I then hand him the flyer as I rudely and very obviously walk over and slam Fiora's doors open.
Screamy follows with the bourbon, with the bourbon coffee.
Fiora like rolls over and rubs her eyes. Fiora has a 15 perception, so I assume when she is handed a mug, she smells the alcohol. Like, I assume. And she's going to just hand it back and dig through her bag and pull out a decanter and start chugging her own coffee.
Scrimmy shrugs and goes on his way.
I would love to know what the mix that Scrimmy had made of bourbon to coffee. Like,
75 bourbon.
No. Definitely not that close, but it's high up there. It's at least like...
It's like 60-40.
Yes, that's about what it is. 60-40.
In which way that is, we'll let you decide. But if no one else has taken some, I will gladly have another mug as we
Yeah, you two both get two mugs.
Scrimmy graciously pours you another mug and cheers you again.
Sweet. I'm already drunk.
Fiora gets dressed slowly, puts on her cloak, and pulls her hood low as she always has.
So yeah, once everyone's ready, besides the giant man and the tiny man, which doesn't feel right, I guess I'll lead them over to Martha's house, where I clearly presume there's no one outside from the noise I made.
Nope. The passerbys went on about their business. It's not their house, not their problem. And
Like,
you
just for
take them
reference?
to the poor man district to an older house. It's kind of on the corner of the street, and there's no lights or anything on in the house, and the windows, anything like that. But you do see a large Celine-sized foothole in the sort of middle of the door, near where the busted off door handle is.
Yeah, I don't do doors well.
And you said there's a bar on the other side that you can't get undone?
Yes. Very begrudgingly, she admits this.
All right, let's take a look and see how, in the context of size, what is a Celine foot diameter hole?
Well, she's been established as muscle mommy, so whatever that correlates
Like
to.
an 11 or a 10.
10 and a half, 11.
Maybe smaller.
All right, so with
10
this
and a half or 11,
with
I
this
gouge.
foot, with this 12-inch foot, not just goofy haha foot reference, I think I could probably stick my head in and see where the bar is and have more than enough room to reach my arm around.
It's right, like there's like a gap on the top of the foot and a little gap on the bottom of the foot, but you can see the bar clearly through the hole. But you have deft hands. Maybe you could do something that Celine couldn't by wiggling your hand in there and popping it free with your non-criminal skills that you have for lockpicking.
Yeah, this these picks, this dagger, they exist to open opportunity more than anything, and
Yeah.
that's what I'll be doing.
Opportunity knocks, Celine kicks doors in.
I didn't know my name had changed to Opportunity.
I said you
It's a
kick
good
doors
name.
in.
I don't knock.
Let's
I kick the
let's
fucking door
get
down.
this door open. Gracious God of the skies, how shall I open this door?
You can go and do your sleight of hand with your proficiency, your thieves' tools proficiency. It's fine.
You got it.
Or expertise, whatever it is.
That'll be another 3 for the proficiency, so 24.
Yeah, so you're able to slip your hand in there and feel around where the the board sort of lands in the iron, what do you call it, bracket, and kind of slip it out of the bracket, allowing the door to swing open.
I immediately rush inside.
Yeah, and you come inside to it's a one-room house. There's a fireplace that has some low coals burning in it. There's no lights on. If you don't have dark vision, you don't see anything aside from the low coals and what the early morning sun lets in the doorway.
Well, since I can't see shit, I'm gonna look over where I presume Fiora is still standing in the door and just be like, a little light would be nice.
Point of order. Fiora is like across the street, standing in an alley between two houses, and does not want to be directly associated with breaking and entering in broad daylight.
I think
Screamy's.
Fiora's like lurking in the background of this.
I know that Screamy did definitely go with and just kind of stay with the group. So Screamy just goes, "Oh, I got this," and I just pull out my green flame blade.
Sure, that works.
Yeah, so you just light a sword on fire.
I just hold it, yeah, green flames, and
Yeah,
it's
so
actually it's not even a sword. It's literally just my dagger.
Sure. So your dagger is just lit up with this green flame that sort of casts a dim light over the room. And you see where a cooking pot sort of hangs over the fire, where the table is. There's some like pantry shelves on one side, and the other side is where there's like a bed and a couple of like relaxing chairs. And you don't see like a head poking out of the blankets in the bed, but you do see where it looks like somebody's laying under blankets in the bed.
Huh.
And your axe is on the table, Celine.
Oh, well, immediately I'm heading towards the fucking axe. I don't care about the person. I want my shit back.
Yes, you raised a finger, Scrim.
I will wait to see what happens once Celine picks the axe up before I do anything.
Yeah, Celine just picks the axe up.
Okay, cool. Screamy is already faded and still has a little bit of this coffee pot. He's for some reason decided the pot was his now and brought it with him. There's just a little bit left, and literally pokes the sack and says, "You want some coffee?"
And it's kind of stiff when you poke it, Scrimmy.
Oh.
You don't get any groans, grumbles, or responses.
Scrimmy's actually going to immediately get concerned because he's dead and he's not even still when he sleeps. Hey guys, something's wrong over here.
Is everything all right?
I'm not paying attention. I'm just hitting my axe.
This person in this bed is DED. Dead.
Look at that. They're learning to spell.
I mean, are they? Is
Can you guys find out? I'm scared.
Okay, I'll walk over and take the cover off then, since I'm the only one that's not bothered by death.
You pull back the covers, and When you pull it back, the person's back is towards you. You see the hair sort of falling over the face. It's long, sort of blonde hair, but it's like fading to gray. So it's that like middle of the road, sandy kind of color. And it's draped over the face. But the body doesn't move when you pull the covers back. And it's a woman's body. You can tell by the hair. And she's just in her sleeping gown.
Like very unceremoniously, I'm just gonna casually like reach under and flip them towards us.
Easy.
So you just pull the shoulder so the body kind of leans towards you.
Yeah.
And when you do, the hair sort of falls away from the face and you see a corpse. The face is completely drained of color. The skin kind of looks dry and leathery. And the hands look a little crinkly. I wouldn't say like decayed corpse, but maybe more along the lines of a corpse that's been drained of bodily fluids.
Well, shit.
Like exsanguinated type fluids.
Possibly.
Loki will tighten up the face covering that he's been pulling up as we go out and about in town, what with the plague and whatnot, and come around to the other side of the bed to examine the body a bit more.
Yeah, investigation, friend.
Of course, friend. 23.
23. Well, I will tell you that you don't see any of the signs of the weeping pox. So they don't have the plague. But as you sort of look around on this body, you notice that the mouth is kind of stuck open in this O shape, like the way that a face makes when it screams. There are no puncture holes or anything on the neck to make you think that it was maybe a blood drinker that removed all of the life essence from this body, but it looks very much so like something sucked the life right out of this woman.
Well, we have the option of minding our business, telling the guard, or making this our business.
I'm
Screamy
going to do neither of those things.
Screamy is really concerned with this, and wants to do an Arcana check on top of the investigation.
Sure.
I'm gonna go look for the bag of money that she had.
When for some reason, before Screamy hits full peak drunkenness, he has tons of emotions and empathy for other people.
I mean, that's fair. That checks out.
All right, it's gonna be a 21.
And are you? What is exactly Scrimmy looking for in terms of using your knowledge of the arcane to examine this body? Are you looking for residual traces of magic, or are you looking to see if there's been any sort of well, I guess residual traces of magic is really what I'm asking. If you're looking for.
Basically, I'm just looking to kind of see if there was any sort of foul play that relates to anything that I've seen in this town already, revolving around magic, because we've run into a few magic users already.
Well, definitely foul play. It's a dead body.
Yeah.
But it doesn't look like it is something that was necessarily like magically cast, no power word kill or anything like that. But something definitely sapped the life force from this individual.
Okay. So it could it's not necessarily a spell, but it could possibly be some sort of magical creature. Okay. Scrimmy will keep that in mind, and let the team know that it's something that he has not seen before, or that he can't remember if he's ran across anything like this before. I'm quite confused by this, guys. I'm not quite sure what's going on, but I don't like this. I don't think we should stick around to find out either.
Yeah, while they've been doing that, I've been ransacking this room looking for the gold that was on the fire.
You
I
don't
want my
find it.
1,000 gold pieces.
You don't
Yeah, I
find
didn't
it.
think I would. Cool. Is there anything around that I can break? Besides the door.
I mean, chairs and like furniture, if that's what you're going for.
Yeah, I'll just, haven't searched, not found anything. I'll just pick a chair up and just throw it at the wall.
Celine, this is a crime scene. You don't need to be expressing your frustration just like this.
I just turn and give you the deadliest glare you've seen from me yet, and walk away.
Screamy's gonna look at Loki and ask one probable question. How did they get in if we had such a hard time getting in? Celine is buff as figgity fuck and couldn't get in.
I would expect they were already in here, or there's another way in. If the door was barred from the inside, and either they locked themselves in for the night and something happened to them, or the thing happened to them and the person locked up the place to make sure no one would get in as easily as we tried to. There might be another entrance somewhere, or maybe a window hatch that someone could have gotten out of.
I feel like we should definitely go communicate all of this to Fiora.
Yeah, I imagine this is going to end up being the guard's undertaking, as we have business at the manor today if we don't have time for this.
All right, that's a good point.
But
let's get out of here before I get too superstitious about things.
Yeah, go. I'm right behind you.
I mean, we could just leave it as is. The door is open. Someone will come along and report it to the guards. It doesn't have to be us.
Broke in. We should explain that we did it and that we found it to continue building good rapport with the guard.
Wait, should we tell them that we came to check on this person and they didn't respond, so we broke in to check on them better?
I want to be honest with you. I feel bad that I'm not really doing anything, but I am not going and talking to guards. You all are welcome to do that. I will hang out outside.
We're not putting you in. I will happily do all the talking. Recalling the crime scene, were there any windows by the bed or anything that would have let you sight the bed from outside?
Yes, there is a small window near the bed. But it is the way that the house is kind of situated, it leans towards a darker side. So you can't just walk by the street and see inside. You would have to go around the side of the house to look in.
Yeah, which we can say we did because we were investigating the axe that we were trying to retrieve and saw the person not moving in the bed. And so we made our way in to check on them, and they are dead. And
assuming I've been caught up, maybe we don't mention the axe we were trying to receive if it was, used to kill her husband.
Yeah, that's why I'm thinking we should just say
thought.
We were going to try and help her find her husband or something. I don't know. I don't want to get too deep into this, but
I will leave an anonymous tip about the individual, and we could go to the manor.
Okay.
All right. So you're going to leave an anonymous tip. I assume Loki goes about it on your way to the manor somehow, way, shape, or form. Which way do you leave to go to the manor? Do you go down around through Hand-Me-Down, and down and into the quarantine zone and out and around, or do you go all the way out to the Rock Teeth entrance and go all the way around? You don't have a boat this time, so you can't go from one side to the other as easily.
I guess whichever's shorter.
Yeah, I feel like going around is gonna take like 3 hours to get there.
I mean, it is very early in the day. What time did we say we were meeting him?
I mean, they just said that they had a manor. They had a safe house.
Yeah, they didn't tell you any time. Fred didn't tell you any time. You could go literally at any point.
The safe word is battle hamster when we get there.
A safe word.
That's what he said. Password, safe word. I assume he means like a password so that whoever he has staying there doesn't just attack us on site.
What the
Fair
hell is
enough.
a bat hamster?
So
But-
you want to go through. The shortest way would be through Hand-Me-Down and through the quarantine zone and out through those gates and around. But that would put you in extremely close proximity to the Weeping Pox. So do you take the shorter route and accept the added possibility of contracting something, or do you take the safe route and go out and around and it just takes you a little bit more time to travel?
Well,
You
knowing
have
that,
horses. You don't have to walk. You have fucking horses.
we're gonna take the long route. Yeah,
We can get our horses.
Long
and
route,
go
long
gallop around.
horses, scenic route. Get let's
Um,
stretch their legs a bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you do that. You get out on your horses. You ride back through. Fiora, especially, kind of covering herself because she's passing by some places she's not super fond of. Just go ahead and give me a stealth, Fiora, just to see
Sure.
how well you're going to be.
I mean, it's a 10.
It's a 10. I mean, that's average. It didn't add your modifier. Do you have? Oh, you have no modifier to stealth. Do you?
Yeah, I have 0.
Okay. So you're able to make your way through out that north gate there and around. And do you kind of go out through the trees, or do you try to ride like close to the walls of the city? How do you go about that? Like, what's your path that you take?
I guess the wall. Loki, I don't think would be too particular about the path unless Fiora is making an effort to stay out of sight in one way or the other.
Well, I would point out that the wall is separating essentially the quarantine zone from outside.
Yeah, but it's a wall. There's a virus doesn't just pass through a wall. That's not how it works.
I mean,
Well,
it can go
it
over
has-
it if it's
it's
airborne, but
Sarcasm.
you're
Sarcasm.
the doctor.
Sorry, I'm definitely not a doctor.
I mean, you're the
Nobody was
doctor we
pregnant.
have today.
we're
Ruby's the
getting
plague
there one way or another.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't super matter. I assume we're not gonna just.
We're not gonna
contract
do
the
things
fox
that
through the
contract the
wall.
plague. Yeah.
I'm just trying to figure out how close to the refugee camp you bring yourselves. Like, if you were to follow the wall, it would take you right through the refugee camp. If you went a sort of roundabout way through the forest, you could skirt it entirely.
How new is the refugee camp?
You haven't seen it before.
Then I don't know that Fiora would think of it. Like, she hasn't seen it, so I don't know anything about that. But I feel like if we are already taking the route outside, like the long route to get here to avoid the Weeping Pox, walking 5 feet away from the quarantine zone with a bunch of logs separating it from us doesn't seem super smart.
Yeah, because it's definitely not.
Maybe
the
we go like a
nicest.
half mile up the road and then cut down through the trees. So maybe we're like close to the camp, but not through it.
Okay.
Is my thought.
So you
thoughts.
just skirt. You skirt the edge of the map, essentially, what you have here. You go out and down and around until you connect to the dirt road that comes in from Tola Mill. and you can follow that down. It'll pass the quarantine zone still, but you could ride on the opposite side, so it's not like right up against it, and down and out onto the little peninsula that takes you to the stone bridge that goes across to the manor. And so you do that. It takes you, it doesn't take you too long because you're on your horses, probably about half an hour, 45 minutes with the added distance to keep yourselves away from the walls. And you get down there and you get to the bridge, and it's very foggy over the water here. And you can see the shadows and outlines of a large manor house off in the distance. But you come up to this stone bridge, and as you get to the bridge, when you go to start crossing it, your horses become very agitated and spooked, and they kind of, start to buck a little bit, and kind of like they don't want to go into the mist that covers the bridge there.
Well, I mean, that's always a good sign. I guess we can tie them off to a tree or something here and go on foot from here.
That'll probably do it.
You could. There's trees all around through there. It's a pretty heavily wooded area aside from the carriage path.
Yeah. Celine has a soft spot for animals. We wouldn't want to make the horses do anything they don't want to do.
Yeah,
Yeah, they just
surprisingly,
very
yes.
I wasn't fast enough earlier, but I actually rode my phantom steed, so I just dismissed it. So I don't have to tie mine up. It's just gone.
wonderful.
And I can't use another ritual spell today.
Wonderful. So you just you dismiss your phantom steed. The rest of you tie your horses up to some trees there, and you start across the stone bridge. And it's not a super long bridge, not like Mackinac Bridge long, but like probably takes you a good 15 minutes to cross it. It's not super wide or super narrow. It's like kind of perfect size, just enough for a carriage to get across. It's covered in moss, and the fog is very, very dense over the water here where the bridge goes over and over. You really only have about 5 foot of visibility around your space there. And you cross it and you get to the other side, and you leave the stone of the bridge, but you come onto a cobblestone sort of paved way, like a paved driveway, but medieval style sort of thing. And there's a couple of at the end of the bridge, there's like 2 poles that come up and hang over that have those black lanterns with the candles inside that kind of flicker. And those light the way some, kind of, and you can see about 10 foot away is the light from another. So it gives you some dim light, but it's still very obscured vision. And you walk up to the house, and you come through the driveway. Like, the driveway takes you up, and it's in a U shape, so it'll bring you in front of the house first, and then it'll continue on. It'll loop around past like the carriage house and a few other buildings, and then it'll connect back to the main driveway there. And you come up and you approach this house, and it is large, and you can see as you get closer, it was looming in the distance, and as you get closer you can see how very large it is. And it is a very Gothic Addams Family style manor house with the kind of wrought iron detailing, the old sort of wood. It doesn't look like it's really cared for very well on the exterior anymore. And there's a large set of doors there. They're in the arch shape, but it's double doors that kind of swing open if you wanted to open them both at the same time. No cars in the driveway, though, so maybe nobody's home.
Us?
In we go, I suppose.
Yeah. Who's leading us?
suppose I will.
Okay.
Fun.
So you approach the door.
And we'll knock.
Ooh, the music.
So you knock on the door. And do you do like a, or is it like a?
They're the first one. Logi's very polite.
Yeah, so you do like 3 little knock knocks, and then you wait. And you hear a click. And you're very observant, Loki. You try to look and see where the click comes from. And you notice about knee height a iron, sort of like what would look like a mail slot, except for it's one of the ones where it kind of flicks open and somebody can look out it. But you don't see, if you're standing up and just look down, you don't see anything when you're directly looking down.
Yeah, I guess I'll take a step back and kneel if no one says anything.
Yeah, and you open the door, or you kind of get knee height down to the door where you can look in, and you see a sort of like hand with it's just the wrist and the hand, but at the top of the wrist is a fish bowl that has a goldfish inside of it, and the goldfish is staring directly at you.
Can Squirmy see this happening from like the bottom of the stairs or what?
Yes. There's lights.
Okay.
There's the candles burning on both sides, so you got some dim light, and you're up by the door. It's not quite as foggy here.
Squirmy is gonna whisper to Loki. That looks like a battle goldfish, not a battle hamster.
Maybe they have a lot of battle animals here. Battle hamster. As I say.
And will sort of scurry forward and slap the latch shut, and then the doors will swing wide open to the inside. And you see, as the door swings open, you see there's this little hand apparatus with a fish tank that has a goldfish, and the water sort of sloshes, and the hand starts to scurry away, and then it stops and turns back so the goldfish can see you, and it kind of looks at you and then turns back, and that keeps sort of going on. And as you enter this man, let me turn this on. I always feel like it's so loud, but it's probably just me.
No, it is a bit loud, like.
When you, and it was only at 25%, so I don't understand. So I just turned it on. When you look into the foyer, you see these dark, nice carpets, a nice sort of spiral set of stairs that goes up on both sides. Not spiral, but like those marble ones that kind of curl up. And the center of it kind of leads you forward, and you can see a tree in the center of the mansion from the door there. It's kind of like an atrium there. There's like a gazebo next to the tree. You can see that from this path. And the way the stairs kind of come up is they kind of come up on the left and the right side, and they go up onto like the next floor or whatever. It's like a little balcony there, and then it splits out to the sides. And there's a room to your right and a room to your left there. And it's very actually elegant inside, as not well taken care of on the outside as it looks. The inside it's very nice. It's not gold and glitz opulent, but it's very like gothic sort of manor style. Like I said, like the outside, the inside's decorated the same. Darker colors, like hues of darker greens and burgundies and darker blues and such. Some paintings hanging on walls, sconces that are lit. It doesn't sound like there's a lot of noise coming, but the little goldfish seems to be leading you inside.
Are we supposed to follow that thing?
That's the appearance it gives.
Well, in we go then.
Sure, let's follow a goldfish in a hand. That seems
Onward, verily, I suppose.
Yeah, and it doesn't take you a super long time. Just a couple of minutes walk. Just a couple of minutes walk. I see Chip had responded and I didn't notice it until just now, and it was an hour ago. So I was just answering that, but you're led into this sort of atrium, and when you get in, you see Fred, who's sitting in the gazebo in a nice plush chair, sort of leaned back. He's got his feet up on a little ottoman with a book in his lap, and he's got like a pipe in his hand. And he's just sitting there under the gazebo, and the little goldfish hand guy runs up on the gazebo, stops in front of Fred. Maybe they exchange some type of conversation, and he says, "Thank you very much, Harnock. Appreciate you." And the little hand goldfish scurries away.
The records you have playing are very ominous and echo through the building like crazy, Fred. It's a nice ambiance.
Yeah, I like to keep it classy, you know?
It's not the word I'd use, but sure.
You reside in this manor all by yourself?
Oh, no, of course not. It's much too big for myself, but I'm just one of the only ones here. The others tend to make themselves scarce. They have things to do, and I'm not
Fair
their
enough.
father. Well, all of their father.
Fair enough. Guys, what information were we asking about?
You implied you knew a bit more about the fire over there and what's going on with it and the Black Lady and all that, and said you weren't happy to talk out there, but over here you'd be good.
Yeah, you can come in, sit down, have a seat, relax. And you see underneath the big tree that grows in the center of the house, and it grows up, and you can see it goes up to the floor above. There's the gazebo, but underneath the tree, there's sort of this like relaxed space set out. There's like a circular blue rug, and it's got some nice lounge pillows on it, and then there's little steps up to the wooden gazebo, and there's a kind of like chaise lounge kind of, or a love seat kind of little comfortable couch up there. It's set up very much like a gentleman's smoke room, but inside of the gazebo.
Fucking hell, Fred. Oh.
So yeah, Fiora will walk in and have a seat or lean against a wall or something.
I'll go
Yeah, you
sit
can
on the
do that.
stairs.
You could lean against the railing on the little stairway, however you want to do.
I'll get a cool pose going, leaning on the wall.
Yeah,
I'll
lean
screw
right up
that.
against the doorway there.
I'm gonna drag a chair over and sit on it backwards.
Yeah!
Rest my arms on the fucking back of it.
Squirmy says
Fuck that.
crisscross applesauce.
And all is
Scrimmy
right in
just
the
sits
world.
down. Are you hungry? Do you need anything to eat or drink?
Squirmy thanks him gracefully. I appreciate you, sir. Do you have any soup-infused bourbon?
I have soup and I have bourbon. I could mix them together if that's
Oh, that
what
would be
your
lovely. That sounds lovely. I hold my bag out for him to fill it up with.
He doesn't take your bag, but he sort of points his finger, and you see his lips move. The soup will be here in just a moment. Does anybody else want anything?
Something strong to drink.
And he points and his mouth moves again. Yeah, drinks will be on the way. Well, welcome to my humble abode. It's a lovely place here. I do have actually pictures. I think there might be pictures of it pinned in the channel still. I'm not sure. But yeah, I know quite a bit about the fire and the Black Lady because I was there when the fire was started. Some friends of mine, fairly new friends of mine, were in town recently, and me and them together, we sort of stormed the belfry, I suppose you could say it if you wanted to get fancy about it, to remove the Black Lady and her cult from Lysec and the world because we're sick of them.
I'm sensing a but.
Considering you gave us a contract to confirm that the Black Lady's dead, I can only presume that you only half finished the job.
Well, that's why the fire is perpetually burning. But once they started investigating, my friends and I didn't want to be tied to it, so we have kind of kept the fires burning until somebody comes along to be trusted to confirm it.
So what I'm getting out of this is that we need to go find this bitch and make sure she's dead, or potentially die.
I'm pretty positive she's dead because I'm pretty sure I killed her. I just can't really be the one to say that I killed her or that she's dead from the fire. I don't think the city of Lysec, as run down as it is, would really like me to come to them and say, yeah, thanks for trusting me with your business and such, but I also burned down half the town.
Why not? Sounds like a good time to me.
Yeah. I mean, to me too, but it makes sense. Checks out. I also like fire, as does a few of my friends whose names I won't mention.
So what exactly, do we need to do to confirm she's dead and claim that contract if you're fairly certain you killed her? Can we just go and say we went in, once we go in, can we just come out and say, hey, we found her, she's dead?
Well, once you get in there, there is all the way up on where the top floor used to be was where her sort of casket was. And as the wooden floor sort of collapsed, it's fallen down to the main floor. And if you were to push the door, the lid off, you would see her head severed from her body. You could probably bring the head out in a burlap sack.
I guess the next question is, why do people keep going missing in there?
That part I don't really have anything to do with, and I'm not really sure. I've stayed out of there since the fire was lit. We thought we killed everything inside of it, as I'm sure you've heard, the Black Lady was a vampire, and her cult members as well were either vampires or people that were dedicated to her and feeding her and her children. And so we were pretty sure we had eliminated all of them. So the why people keep going missing, I'm not 100% certain, unless they're just being coming across hazards and getting trapped and such. I do know there is a group of folks that are trapped in there, but we haven't been able to get them out. And by we, I mean the town. Control damage had caused some folks to get trapped in there. But I only knew of the one group actually being stuck. I knew some people were lost in the quote-unquote line of duty trying to put the fire out.
I guess since you mentioned that there were vampires and that, as far as you know, they're all dead, are there any other creatures in the area that could, drain a body of fluids, preferably without puncture holes?
Huh.
That may
That's
be our way of telling
particularly-
you that there may have been a body found this morning that was drained of fluids.
I mean, I've heard a rumor of a creature that snatches bodies, and when when it leaves the body is left sort of, I guess, looks emaciated and unalived. But I haven't really heard of anything that can around that saps the life out. I mean, aside from the plague.
You guys. I told you it was some sort of creature.
I guess my question then to you guys, when you saw it, are you sure it was drained of fluid and not just rapidly aged or something like that?
I just seen it not move, and I seen that it was real dry, like it was real dead. It looked like the life was sucked out of it.
Yeah, very dry. Not like decaying in the way that bodies do when they're first freshly dead. No pools of blood around, no pools of other bodily fluids around, nothing like that. No bloating.
It's like when you cough so hard your soul leaves your body.
Can't say I've done
No,
that one.
Real
But-
dry.
Either way, she was dead as dead can be. Trust me, I know the feeling.
Felt.
Alright, what about these other contracts? You got any more information on those? The kid that says his dad's a demon, the Rakshasa, any of that, or is it just what's in the contracts?
Well, now that we're not out in the public, I can tell you a little bit more about the kid. The kid is Willem Bouwengracht. He's actually the last of the Bouwengracht family, who was presumed to be dead in the slaughter of the family, but had apparently gotten away. And I know it's him because I was there when he was born. But as far as his dad being a demon, he thinks that his dad wasn't killed either. He thinks his dad has some eldritch evil powers, or could be an archdemon or such. So that's as much as I really know. But I could tell you where you could meet with him if you wanted to.
That was going to be my next question.
Yeah, he's the only client willing to meet, given the circumstances of his existence. He's presumed dead. But I could tell you where to meet him if you'd like to do that.
I look at the group. I mean, we've obviously got things here in town to do. Would he meet us somewhere here?
He will not return to Lysec.
Alright, I mean, we couldn't meet him like now, but I think we're certainly willing
Yeah,
to. We were going
eventually.
to look into it. We just got to deal with the fire and things here first.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty much just going to tell you where he's located. I mean, I'm not going to arrange the meeting or anything. Your contract, your business. But I'll tell you where he is and where he last was and was willing to meet with whoever picked up the contract.
That'd be great.
Yeah, so he's in Chernault, more specifically the Shaded Haven.
Great.
Do you know something about that?
Chenault.
I mean, it's where we were arrested, but
Yeah.
The only thing I can say about going to Cheernault and to the Shaded Haven is make sure you're carrying some silver with you. And about that time, a little creature who you probably haven't seen before, but is known as a house elf, comes and is carrying a bowl of soup with bourbon in it and just a mug of ale for Celine.
I'll take it and give a nod to the creature.
It nods back and scurries away. But that's really all the information I got for you. We started the fire, but we don't want people to know we started the fire. The contract came in from to have her killed came in from the council here in Lysec. They obviously wanted her gone, but I don't want to tell them that we killed her because the fire was started when she was killed. So if somebody can go in and confirm it, bring her head, to them, then they would be willing to pay. And since you're going to be working on it anyways, it's just a 2-for-1 special. Buy one, get one free, right?
I mean, I think that was what we were thinking when we saw that one. I don't know, guys. Is there anything else you all needed?
Is this so like we're your homies now, right? Like we can hang out here if we need to.
Yeah, you could come here at any time if you needed a place to stay.
All right, good to know. Thanks.
It's a safe house, magically protected. So
excellent.
Yeah, you're a little mist way out there. Really messed with our horses.
Yeah, horses don't really tend to appreciate the mist very well, and lucky for me, my horses don't have any problems with it, but they're also a horse of a different color, so to speak.
I do have one other question. You said you were there when Willem was born. Who exactly are you?
I'm Fred.
Can I insight?
Yeah, you can. I mean, he's not lying to you. He is Fred.
That is his name.
I got a 17. She's more looking to see if, he is purposefully, hiding a clear connection, or if it seems like something he's more just uncomfortable with, kind of a vibe, like a vibe check.
More like, he doesn't wish to divulge his personal information.
Makes sense. I wouldn't want to either if I were in his job. Well, I guess that's all we need. We should probably go check on Arthur and Daruk and make sure they're okay and nothing's happened. We've left them for a few hours. I'm really surprised you all woke me up instead of them. But
well, seemed right. Celine got up just fine and about after the potion shenanigans.
See,
Arthur didn't get up.
The problem is that y'all assumed that Scrim was up all night partying. No, he wakes up early and starts.
Oh, speaking of all night, totally unrelated actually. I just wanted to segue to my topic. Say, Fred, those contracts you got, of what's left, are there any that could be accomplished in, say 30-minute to 2-hour time spans, even just by, odd groups of, say, 2 to 5 people, as opposed to a full team of 6 in the event we need something to do?
Yeah, go
just
fishing.
small odd jobs, a side quest, if you would.
Yeah.
What is a side quest?
Oh, it's a elvish term.
I mean, we do have one, but we don't want to do that before we are ready to leave.
Well, I've got a couple of quick jobs you could try to do.
Yeah, lay them on us, Fred.
There's one that says a mysterious benefactor is paying to have a vial of unknown substance tipped into the drinking water barrels at the guard barracks. No questions asked, no traces left. Pays 250 gold pieces.
Sounds like fun.
There's in Fiora, you might know a little bit more about these kids, but there's a guy in Hand-Me-Down Town who is known to employ children as pickpockets and pretty much provides them with room and board, kind of like runs a shady orphanage kind of deal. But the group of children have kind of gotten sick of him, and they've pooled together all of their money to ensure that the street thief they work for finds himself penniless or worse, and it's only 22 gold pieces.
I probably do know this guy. Does he mistreat the children or like screw them or anything, or is this just kids being greedy?
I mean, he's not a kitty diddler, but
Well, no, I didn't mean that, but right, is he like, oh, steal for me and you get 1 copper for every 20 gold you steal?
essentially so, yes. Like, go pickpockets all day and you get to come back and give the money to me, and I'm such a glorious host. I'm going to take the money that you brought back to me and buy you bread and water and give you a bed to sleep in. And on Saturdays, I take you to get ice cream and see the puppet show at the local library.
Delon has always been kind of an asshole.
So, when we kicking his ass?
We could do that one, and honestly, it wouldn't ruffle too many guards' feathers. I mean, he's got a name for himself.
Yeah, that's on my list.
However, Fiora gives a side eye to Fred before saying, however, if we go to mess him up, we might have to make sure you know that he can't ever tell anyone who did it.
I mean,
I may or may not have been employed by him at one time.
yeah, by all means.
Screamy winks at you.
Those are the only local easy ones I have. I have a couple of other fairly simple-ish tasks.
I think we can pass on the guards. We can always look into the thief king or whatever he wants to call himself.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
It's not like if we do it, we have to do it. Like you said, we're just taking the contract, and if we do it, we get a reward. So we can look into that potentially if we have time.
Yeah, this isn't like mainline stuff. This is just, a sampler platter of sorts to keep our skills well sharpened in the event that we have nothing to do on a certain day.
Yeah, that's great. You can definitely do that, and you can always pick up contracts along the way. There are other guild associates in different places that you'll come across.
Well, thank you, Fred. I think we'll be on our way and go make sure our horses didn't run away and break their leashes. I think they're called reins.
Cross that will have essentially the same list smaller local one.
Gotta love mountain Wi-Fi.
Oh, how long has that random encounter been redeemed in chat? That's the important question.
Oh, I mean,
I just turned my head to the side. There's 2 Hoolies.
Yeah,
This
my
is
God,
a
it
random
is.
encounter.
my other laptop is dying on me, so
That's fair.
you know how when laptops start to die, they start to freeze up.
Because that makes sense.
It doesn't,
me,
but
sorry.
it's what's happening. All right, let me kick that one out. Oh, I can't kick them out. I guess I can't kick it, but. What I was telling you before it went all Willy Wonka on me is that there are other thieves / assassins guild contacts that you can meet throughout the kingdom that can provide you with menial tasks to do that are more towards the local area that you're in. And then there's like the bigger ones, like some of us have the same bigger contracts that
Yeah.
all so, but yeah, you've gotten the one to deal with the guy, rob him, punch his lights out, so on and so forth. Totally up to you, however you go about it. But
Like
the
every
kids
single game is
scrape some coppers together to make it happen. So
Yeah, no, let's go get our horses. Nothing will happen as we step outside.
better.
yeah, nothing does happen when you
No,
step
nothing
outside.
nothing random of any kind. Just a walk back to our horses.
A random encounter can happen at any point.
Oh, did I miss that being cashed in?
Yeah,
We
one
just got it,
redeemed.
yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
nice
why is that
job.
goldfish getting so large and angry, guys?
Well, we'll deal with that next session then. That'll start off great. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and run a raid out to somebody. I don't know who yet, and we will catch everybody. Let's see, Thursday. We don't come back Thursday till September 5th, so we won't be here Thursday this week. We do have we're supposed to have Concentricity this Friday. Hopefully we do. Saturday, we have session 2 of Sumerkula Stories, which is set in my homebrew world. And it's run kind of like Candlekeep, where they're going to have, it's no overarching story plot. It is a bunch of small adventures that they're going to go on. That's going to be entertaining and fun.
I know.
Drew, here goes Drew. This good-looking crew got me acting uncouth.
Hey, you act just as uncouth as the rest of us.
Yeah, you keep
Right.
that language up. We're gonna have an encounter later. Don't be saying things like that.
For what it's worth, Drew, I loved your answer in Discord earlier.
But so Saturday we've got that, and then obviously we'll be back on Monday. So thanks for hanging out. We appreciate all of you. Hang around to go raid over to our friends, and we'll see everybody Saturday, if not next week.